Welcome to the Whitworth Pirate Podcast. Every show will feature Pirate student-athletes telling us about their lives as students, athletes, and people. Now, here is your host, Bud Nameck.
We get to focus on soccer to start today's Pirate Podcast. Bud Nameck joined by Emmy Moore. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Are you bittersweet, sad right now with the season having wrapped up?
I'd say bittersweet.
And maybe even more bittersweet for you because it's the end of a career.
Yeah.
How hard is that to deal with? Because you're involved in a sport all your life, and you'll still be involved with soccer, I'm sure. But now the really big competitive end of it, you've got to put that to bed. That's got to feel a little strange.
A lot of my friends in the past that have graduated have told me it's like an identity crisis at first. I think I'm just choosing not to acknowledge it quite yet.
That's a good idea.
I'm not sure it's hit.
And I'm sure you'll end up finding something to funnel your energy and that time and effort into.
Definitely, yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to just probably spending time at the soccer field just as much, but maybe just not being the player out there on the field.
If you're not using up all that energy and mental acuity on soccer, what do you think might fill that void? Anything at this point?
No, I'm not sure yet. I don't think I've ever given anything else an opportunity. So we'll see what happens.
But even though your collegiate soccer career is over, it's not the end of soccer for you.
Definitely not, for sure. No. Yeah.
Okay, so talk about what now. So you've kind of started at Idaho, and then went to Seattle Pacific, and then you finish here at Whitworth.
Overall, I think all of those things definitely happened for a reason, especially for me. I got to meet so many great humans and live so many different experiences, and I got to go through different stages in soccer that I hadn't experienced previously before college. And at the end of the day, coming to Whitworth, I just ended up even closer to the sport than when I started. And yeah, I just think this place is a special place. It was a great place for me to end. It was home for me. And so I'm really happy I chose to come here.
Not too much of a commute from
Not at all.
Deer Park to Whitworth.
Not at all. 20 minutes down the road, not too bad at all. My parents were pretty happy about it as well.
Is that driving 55 or is that speeding a little bit?
60.
Oh, okay. Well, that's legal. And you've got to be a bit of a good luck charm because as we were talking a while ago, your former team, the Idaho Vandals, in the NCAA tournament. Seattle Pacific is in the postseason.
Yep.
And the Pirates didn't make the postseason, but one reason why that is because it's so difficult to get into the postseason at Division III. You guys really did play extremely well at the end of the season.
Yeah, we were definitely, Cam, our coach, talks a lot about growing throughout the entire season, not just setting a standard in the beginning. You set the standard, but you want to continue to grow. And we don't want to ever peak at our growth. We want to always just keep moving up and up. It might we might be going here and then we might just slant down a little bit, but we always want to keep growing. And I think that is a huge factor.
What's the challenge? And maybe you've talked to your teammates who will be coming back. What's the big challenge for them to take this success you've had the second half of this season and carry that through?
I think everything that with this program has to do with the team chemistry and the family atmosphere that they create. And because that can make or break a team, I would say. And every team that I've been a part of that is successful just has this great team chemistry and wants to be around each other. And that matters so much when you're in a long season, you're spending so much time together. And I have no doubt that they'll be able to do that next year as well.
What do you think the makeup of that team will be next year compared to, okay, you're obviously not back. How many other players won't be coming back for the Pirates next year?
There's 5 of us total, so 4 other than me.
Okay. All right. And you've coached up all the youngins to make sure they can take good care of what you're leaving behind.
We're trying our best. We tried our best for sure. I think they'll do it in their own way, and whatever way they do it is going to be great. So
you talked about starting at Idaho, Seattle Pacific, and wrapping it up here, and how perfect it was to wrap it up here close to home. Why was that? What was the big factor for you that made that so much fun for you?
I think being at the other divisions that I was at, D1 and D2, it asked a lot of you as a player, not only physically but mentally. And I think when I was done at SPU and I was deciding whether I was going to come back to SPU for my 5th year or come somewhere else and start my master's, I was it would be great if I could have a fresh start, maybe just myself can have a fresh start with the sport almost on a new team and just have some fun, which Cam would say this too. His idea of fun and my idea of fun are similar, but sometimes that doesn't always correlate. Competitive fun is what I mean by that. But no, I would just say like getting the opportunity to come back here to where it all started for me, it really just made it everything that I wanted it to be.
You talked about starting at Idaho and then Seattle Pacific, and then how wonderful it was to come home to Whitworth and play so much closer to home. And we talked about soccer in Spokane being kind of a small world. So did you end up getting reunited with girls you'd played maybe high school soccer with or against, and then club soccer with?
Yeah, not only that, I also got coaches, because obviously I was coached by Kevin Moon during high school, and then Cam was also around the club back then, and I knew him from a long time ago. So, but yeah, I was actually roommates with Laura Pearson at Idaho, and so that was a really awesome experience for me to get to start with her and then also like finish with her. We talked about that all weekend this weekend. And then I also, there's people, alumni, Cameron Gardner, I played club with her for 3 years, and then Bailey Trejo, I also got to play with her for 3 years, and so that was really, really cool getting to come back and like hang out with those people all again. And then not only that, Rebecca Hines and Mac Lemke, both of those girls played club soccer with my little sister. So
there's a lot of athletes in a lot of sports, including soccer, that might be a fringe Division I player and have goals of playing Division I, and then end up perhaps in where they should be all along, a Division III program. What would you say to yourself as you were at that threshold when you were graduating from Deer Park, in terms of the rewards of playing D1 versus the rewards that you reaped on and off the field playing D3 at Whitworth?
I think Division I will ask a lot more of you physically and mentally, and as a player. And I like to think that like you're a player and a person, but that requires the player a lot more. And whereas at the D3 level, you get to be a person as well. You can be a person at the D1 level as well, but it just can be like, you have to be very, very mentally tough to be able to handle all of that all at once. And I realized pretty quickly that like that friends make the sport for me. If I could say it any way better, I don't know. But like my friends are what make this sport what it is to me. And so like having good relationships and having like really strong relationships that I get to have on and off the field were what I wanted. And I get to like, you can do that at the D3 level so well and like still be a person as well as a player. And that matters so much, at least to me, I think. So yeah.
Some people's athletic career in college ends and they have a college degree and they have to figure out what they're going to do. I mean, here you are, you're going to leave with your master's with a certificate to teach?
Yes. Certificates teach in hopefully elementary education. I think the sweet spot for me would be 3rd through 5th grade. But more than that, I'd like to just hopefully be like a PE teacher and then get to coach.
You want to coach 3rd and 5th graders in soccer too, or do you want to coach someone who's older, a little bit more experienced?
Maybe I'll be more picky as I get more experience, but right now I think I'll take anything. The littles are just as fun because they'll match your energy. So, but the olders, you get to create really, really good relationships.
Sometimes the little ones, though, they see a butterfly on the field and they go chasing after the butterfly instead of watching what's going on in the game.
To be honest, I'd be right there with them. So.
All right. So, tell me about your favorite memory that you were involved with as a Pirate soccer player.
Oh, that's a tough question to answer. My favorite memory, I think off the field, one of our bus rides back from Oregon, the men's team wasn't on the bus with us this time, but one of our bus rides back from Oregon, me and a couple of the other players sat and talked with the coaches the entire 7 hours back. And like with the conversation, like no one just got tired. No one was like, wanted to end the conversation because it was just so fun and fulfilling, and it just like made my heart happy. So yeah,
made a 7-hour bus ride short.
No kidding. Yeah, it flew by.
Well, congratulations on a nice career.
Thank you
at
so
all
much.
3 stops.
Thank you.
And I know you're going to bring a lot to the world, to some youngsters, teaching and coaching them.
Thank you so much.
Emmy Moore, women's soccer player for the Whitworth Pirates. We're going to continue to talk about soccer and talk to a new record holder for the Whitworth Pirates, Cole Friesen. That's next on the Pirate Podcast.
I met Chris, it was actually through a phone call, and he was talking to me about his landscaping company, and he was looking to get some financing to buy a truck, a trailer, and some heavy equipment. What I like about New America is When it comes to decision making, it's right down the hall from my office. And we're able to meet his needs within a month. Feels great to see a business expand.
And we continue on the Pirate Podcast talking about soccer. Cole Friesen from the men's team joins us. Season just wrapped up, and what a season it was for you. I was looking to see if you have a crown or anything on. New record holder, most goals in a season for the Whitworth Pirates. Has that sunk in?
Not quite yet. It's still kind of surreal for me. It was an awesome season, but yeah, not quite yet.
How do you deal with that when you're approaching a record like that and then eventually break it? You're in a team sport,
Yeah.
and so usually you deflect those sorts of things to your teammates and whatnot, but also there has to be some internal pride as well.
Yeah, so it was very hard the last little bit to just every week just not think about it and just do the things I do well, and yeah, not really think about it. And
Did it put extra pressure on you?
I think definitely it was harder to, but mentally I had to just stay focused on putting my team first, trying to win the game, and that was most important. And my team did a great job at not making me seem like I had to score all the goals and do everything on my own.
So how'd it come about? Your freshman year, you were injured, didn't get to play the whole year, and then all of a sudden this year, you're this goal-scoring machine. How'd that happen?
I really don't know. I put in a lot of work this summer, and last season it was great to be able to focus on something else off the field and on my teammates and have them have a chance to shine. And then, yeah, I guess it was just great to play well this year.
And even though you've got the goal-scoring record, there's one still to attain. You came close to the total points record, but came up one shy.
Oh, yeah. It's really unlucky. It's a lot of points, and yeah, I'm lucky to become one shy.
Is that a goal maybe for next year to try to see if you can build on that?
It's always a goal to do that well. It would be crazy to do this, repeat this season, but yeah, always a goal to beat records.
Talk about this team. You guys had a couple losses early on,
Yeah.
and then played some really good soccer the last, it seems like almost 3/4 of the season.
Yeah, I felt like we really found our identity a little bit before halfway through the season. Got kind of unlucky in our first couple games that we lost and draw to, and then yeah, we really found our identity and played really well the last end of the season.
Was part of that you guys on the team getting adjusted to Kevin Moon moving into the coaching position?
I think we really got adjusted to how he wanted to play, and I think we found a really good lineup for how he wanted to play, and we really just got better at that throughout the season.
As you grow up and you play club soccer, play soccer in high school, do you end up, were you in a situation where you were funneled through programs that had the same philosophy playing, or as you played for different teams and clubs, were there different philosophies so that kind of gave you more experience as a player who plays a lot of different systems?
I think definitely playing for different teams, there's definitely different systems and morals, and I think playing for my club team, it was based a lot around the people who played were the ones who were very valued in the team, and then different teams like high school made me realize that that's not only being a good player doesn't mean you're valued, and I think was one of the reasons I came here, was to be valued not only as a player but as a person.
Cole comes from Chula Vista, California, which is a suburb of San Diego. It's a long way from Chula Vista to Spokane. How'd that happen?
Well, I just was looking for schools, looking for Christian colleges, and came across this one with our former coach, Jeremy Payne, and he recruited me and seemed like an awesome school with awesome people here. And yeah, just decided this would be the school for me.
There's no marine layer in Spokane in the morning. How'd you deal with snow?
Oh, it was pretty cold. I was not ready for that last year, but
Were you walking around campus with flip-flops on the whole time?
Yeah, no way. Not anymore, but finally getting adjusted this year, but it's still pretty cold.
You've enjoyed the transition, though?
Oh, yeah, I think it's definitely made me appreciate the San Diego weather, but I definitely like the change.
So you grew up in a soccer family. Your dad's a soccer coach.
Yeah, he coaches for SDSU women's team. They had a pretty good season this year. It was cool to watch him.
Yeah, and they had a game in Spokane?
They did, yeah. So they played Eastern Washington, and then they also played WSU, and he was able to come and watch my games. I was able to watch him, which was cool overlap.
Is that kind of what inspired you to want to play soccer collegiately, was having a dad as a coach?
Oh, definitely,
coach
yeah.
at that level?
Him pushing me to be as best I can at soccer, and wanted to make him proud always. So, yeah, playing college soccer would be was awesome.
So you and I were chatting a little bit about how it's tough when a season ends. You have to kind of readjust, and you have time that you didn't have before. So I'm sure a lot of that focus will go into schoolwork. What are you majoring in?
Yeah, I'm majoring in accounting and finance.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I want to get my CPA at the end of my 4 years, and then do something with that.
Want to go work for one of these big CPA firms, or just kind of hang out a shingle and do your own thing?
Yeah, I have no idea yet. I'm not really focused too much on that.
Okay. Has Spokane grown on you enough? You might stick around here after you graduate, or is the lure of the San Diego weather you were just talking about kind of enough to pull you back towards home?
I think definitely leaning towards going back to San Diego, but I never know. So might stay here.
There are new opportunities for soccer in Spokane with the Velocity and a couple other teams that are starting to crop up. Is that something that would be a possibility for you in the future, you think?
I think, yeah, I definitely wouldn't cross it off the list. Like, it would be so cool to play for one of the teams here and stay in Spokane. So I wouldn't cross it off the list, but I haven't put too much thought into that.
Where do you see this Whitworth team next year based on the way you guys developed and got so strong as this season was going on?
I think, as I was saying, we found our identity this year, and I hope will continue into next year. And I think we should be able to win conference next year.
Okay.
So
What's the off season like for you? What do you do?
it's just more training on my own, and yeah, just focus more on school. But yeah, just training on my own, going to the gym, running. Yeah.
You excited that the World Cup's going to be
Oh, in the
here
U.S.
and in the U.S. and certainly going to have a good West Coast presence?
Oh yeah, that'll be so cool. I think I'm definitely gonna try to go to as many games as I can. I think it'll be a cool experience.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck. I'm looking forward to the start of the season next year. I'm sure you're looking forward to it, and wishes that
Yeah.
we're here right now the way
Yeah,
you guys were
definitely.
playing.
Yeah, thank you. It was awesome.
Cole Friesen from the Pirates soccer team. We're going to talk about football of a different sort. We're going to talk to Dylan Cook, wide receiver for the Pirate football team. That's next on the Pirate Podcast.
I met Anidas 10 years ago when he first came to New America. He didn't have bad credit, but he just had no credit to begin with. I took the time to really go over some options with him and figure out what steps he needed to take in order for him to build that positive credit to the point where, fast forward 10 years down the road, he's got his business account with New America, he's got his personal accounts with New America, and he's looking to buy his second home also with New America. That was a sense of fulfillment for me in saying, hey, I helped him get through these steps.
And we turn our attention to a different kind of football on the Pirate Podcast now, that football that takes funny bounces, joined by Dylan Cook, senior wide receiver for the Pirates. How are you, sir?
Good. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
You know, I'm honored that I am speaking to the gentleman who has the #1 ranking in all of Division III football, the top quarterback efficiency, passing efficiency in all of Division III football, through a touchdown pass to Evan Leggett last week. So you're 1 for 1 with a touchdown. Yeah. And, you know, and Austin Ewing's had a pretty good year. Going into last week, he was #4 in the nation with a rating of 197. Your rating is right now 564.
Here we go.
So we're going to have the crowd chanting for you to throw more passes?
No, I don't think so. That was a one-time deal.
So I heard, somebody told me that it didn't work out as well as it was supposed to every time in practice.
Yeah, practice was a little rough trying to get the ball to the receiver, but it was actually designed to go to the quarterback. Liggett's route was kind of scribbled out in the diagrams for me. They told me don't ever throw across the field, and I just saw him open and hitched up and delivered a good ball. So, yeah.
Were you surprised, since it didn't work all that well in practice, that it was actually called in the game?
Yeah, it was actually supposed to be like a short yardage play. Like we were practicing it from the 3-yard line, goal line play, and it just called it from the 16. My eyes got a little wide when I saw the signal come in, but hey, coach trusted me to make a play, so.
Well, I'm up in the booth and see the play develop, and I see Evan running the drag of the back of the end zone, and he's open.
Yeah.
And then by the time you got the ball and were ready to throw it, two defenders kind of converged. You didn't have much of a window. What did it look like from your vantage point?
I just rolled out. First read was Austin on the flat route, so I'm covered. Knew that Liggett was an option. Looked back, saw he beat the safety across, kind of snuck back there. Didn't really have good eyes to the backside corner, but just hoped I could get the ball there in time. And sure enough, Evan went up and made a play over two guys. Incredible catch.
Did you play much quarterback before, high school or anything?
No, I've never played quarterback.
Never.
Never.
Okay. So was it kind of a dream come true to throw a pass?
Yeah, I think every kid grows up dreaming to make a big play like that, throwing the ball in a close game on senior night. So, yeah.
This has been kind of a dream season for you. 10 touchdown catches.
Yeah. Not really focused on personal accolades. I think our team's performance has been the most outstanding thing this season. So, excited to see how good we can play on Saturday.
Now that you have experience throwing the football, you have to look at what Austin has been able to do, what Ryan Blair's been able to do, because you guys just have such a deep receiver room.
Yeah.
There's so many different guys who can step up and catch passes and have caught passes. That's got to be kind of fun.
Yeah, we're deep everywhere, and it's kind of a next man up mentality. If someone needs a sub, next guy in. We have all the faith in our 2 deep, even our 3 deep to go in and make a play. So we're just talented across the board and got a lot of weapons.
How much does that help all of you to improve, seeing each other and what you're working on in practice?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think everyone has a great work ethic, and we kind of push each other to be the best versions of ourselves, and we hold each other accountable. If I see someone slacking off or not doing something to the best of their ability, I feel comfortable as a leader, and I think we have a bunch of leaders on the team that we can talk to each other like that, and no one takes it personal, and we know at the end of the day that we're just trying to be the best versions of ourselves.
You mentioned Saturday's game, a matchup with Linfield. First time in Northwest Conference history that two teams that are unbeaten overall will play on the final week of the season for the championship. And, you know, the old cliche is that's why you come to Whitworth to be able to play big games like this. But, wow, these don't happen very often.
Yeah, you couldn't really draw it up any better. 2 undefeated teams, last game of the regular season, going to their place on the road, big game. And, yeah, I think we're just excited to play in such a meaningful game. And, yeah.
How's the confidence level going into that game?
Oh, we're really confident. It's the first time we've ever been undefeated since I've been here, and we're kind of rolling right now. And we got tested last week, and I think it just showed that we can handle adversity and stick together and find ways to win tough games.
When you play teams that have had success for such a long time, you know, you think back in the old days, you're too young for the UCLA basketball dynasty, Alabama football, and now you're playing a Linfield team that has incredible history. How do you make sure, and how do your coaches work with you guys during the week? Because let's be honest, you've had this game circled on the schedule from the get-go. How do you make sure you're only playing the guy opposite you and not playing against the uniform and the tradition of the program?
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things that Coach Sandberg emphasizes each week is it's about us. He always says that it's about us. We study our opponent, we know our opponent, but at the end of the day, it's about us. And we're just mastering our 111th, and everyone just do their job, and at the end of the day, it should work itself out.
One of the things that happens for the Pirate football team the night before a game, they have a team chapel, a gathering, and there's always a featured speaker and at least 2, sometimes 3 seniors who do their share. I happened to be fortunate enough to be there when Dylan did his share, and just when you hear all of these, and yours included, it's really neat to hear the way all of you guys relate to your coaches, and especially to Coach Sandberg. Can you describe that for us?
Just the player relationship to Coach Sandberg?
And what, you know, when you were being recruited, what was it that drew you into Whitworth and Coach Sandberg in this football program?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is with Sandberg is what you see is what you get. He's not different on your visit, and then you show up and he's like, oh, this is a different coach, or he's changed. He's always the same, and he's just kind of easy to be around, and people like being around him. He's funny, he's genuine, and he'll tell you the truth, and he's not scared to hurt your feelings. So I think all young men are attracted to those type of leaders and mentors in their life, people that can be honest with them and just be genuine.
Is the decision that you made to come to Whitworth one you'd make again?
Oh, yeah, 1,000 times over.
What's in the future for you?
been thinking about taking a 5th year. I have that option, so
Okay.
might miss graduation and come back and take a 5th year. Right now, I think I'm leaning towards it. We're going to reload our whole team pretty much, so we're playing really good ball right now, so we'd be just as better next year. So either take a 5th year or find a job. Not really sure what I want to do with a career yet. I'm studying finance right now, so maybe something in wealth management or financial planning.
That's good.
Yeah.
If you can learn to make your money work for you, that's a nice tool to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you do decide to come back, that'd give you an opportunity to work on an MBA then?
Yeah, I could either work on the MBA, start an MBA program, or just take a miss graduation by missing the one class and then come back and take one class in the fall next.
It's one nice thing about football.
Yeah.
You can just do that in the fall, and it's not quite as expensive as coming back for a full year.
Totally.
Well, Dylan, it's been fun. Enjoyed watching you play, and looking
Appreciate
forward to Saturday and hopefully some more after that.
Yep, thanks for having me. Go Bucks.
Dylan Cook, wide receiver for the Pirates, #1 passing efficiency guy in the nation in Division III football.
I met Chris, it was actually through a phone call, and he was talking to me about his landscaping company, and he was looking to get some financing to buy a truck, a trailer, and some heavy equipment. What I like about New America is when it comes to decision making, it's right down the hall from my office. And we're able to meet his needs within a month. It feels great to see a business expand.